Hello. Today I'll be discussing day one concepts for the week one module. And we'll start with noting that, again, the modules are broken up week by week. And I'm going to be overviewing this chunk of the module. And the video is going to be short, I promise, no more than 10, 20-ish minutes. Click on W1 Understanding Concepts. Brings this up, and this is where these are the sections where I also include the links for the Zoom video lectures once I finish them. This section is also where I offer like abridged versions of the week's required readings and the concepts. It's supplemental to the readings in the way that this is how I would traditionally host a face-to-face class. And if you skip these sections, these understanding concept sections, and if you skip the this video and other readings, the same is not showing up for class. It's going to lead to unpreparedness and confusion. That being said, please review these sections, video lectures, and the readings before texting and emailing me with questions based on what students ask and how they ask it. I can tell if they've not done either. And before I answer you, I'm probably going to tell you to return to the concepts page of the video lecture and see if you can find the answer yourself first. So for these types of text-based pages, there is an audio option called the immersive reader. It's cool because when you click it and you press play, it's going to read everything to you that's on the page. And this might help you if you want to walk around or do other things while you're listening to the course readings. And similar to a podcast, you can use the immersive reader later when you have to do the really big weekly required readings. You're like, oh my God, there's so much. You press immersive reader and it's going to read it to you. So yay, it's great. There's an intro section where you see that I've been a teacher for 6 years, a tutor for 8. I started teaching courses at HCC. I've been with USF for 3 years, and there's a picture of me and my kiddos at 5 and 10 years old. Then we get to the goals of the course, and Comp 2 has a goal to get you to hone your skills as writers, so one day you might affect change. Learning a skill like writing is hard. It's like learning to walk. Learning such a necessary skill is painful and at times embarrassing, but because it must be learned or down the road, other things are going to be harder. That basic skill was not mastered. So 1101 taught you how to walk, and this class is going to teach you how to walk with flair, to jog, or to run. Everything, you're going to find it at your own pace. So there's 2 phases of the course, or 2 projects. If you watch the M0 lecture, then you'll be a little bit familiar with what I'm talking about, in that the first project is going to teach you to work with others, analyze information, convey it with facts. You're negotiating an equitable, not equal solution. And why not equal? We'll talk about that a little later. Project 2 is essentially a literature review. And these projects are readying you for other classes that will ask you to write cognitive solutions to issues, to write reports with multimodal components, and persuade an audience with facts. And you'll have to use peer-reviewed articles and citations in each project paper. Specifically, the Project 1 topic was chosen by the USF English Department to streamline the readings, make group projects simpler for topic selection. It revolves around this question: should Florida increase funding for the University of South Florida? Each group can tackle this prompt from different angles, such as yes or no. I'm going to decide which groups respond to yes or no. And you and your group will decide on which audience this prompt would appeal to and why. Examples of audiences you may choose, and you can go outside of this if you want to: Florida voters, Marco Rubio, Charlie Crist, USF students, those sorts of stakeholder groups. So the audience for Project 1 should never be everyone. It should be a distinct stakeholder group that has a fixed interest in the outcome. You should consider these elements of Project 1, such as audience. Are you appealing to a state legislature, federal government? What's the purpose? Is your team for or against? What are you hoping to accomplish with your stated position and the supporting claims and information? Collaborative writing. Know your skill sets and limitations. Be proactive but respectful. Adhere to deadlines. So now, beyond the project a little bit, let's talk about some housekeeping details about the course you may have missed. And it's not really on this page, but I'm still going to talk about it. Navigating Canvas. If you're the type of person you want to see the entirety of assignments or the upcoming assignments in a visual way, you click Assignments. It's going to list out the assignments that are published based on whatever modules are published. I see all of them, but you're not going to see this entire list. You're only going to see what's published until it populates from week to week, and you'll see what's due. The calendar is also another way to access what's due and when. These two forms of looking at, when is something due, it's never going to remind you of assignments that are due on USF Write, which is a separate platform you have to purchase to access. It's just a separate platform you have to access. We used to have the e-text housed in here, but for Comp 2, they changed that to semester. But it is where you're going to upload drafts for the major assignments. You'll see it says rough draft, final draft. That should say rough draft. I got to fix that in final draft. So Canvas is not going to remind you to put something here necessarily. I will try to add mechanisms for that, but you need to remember kind of sort of, I need to upload major rough and final drafts from week 6 and onward to this other platform created by USF. And then there's the notion of, and this is separate from technology or anything, but personal responsibility. I think I did put this on the syllabus page. You would find it here. I'm going to just click it. But the notion of personal responsibility. One more time. There we go. You're in college now. It's part of your job to know when assignments are due. And do not email or text me asking me when assignments are due, because you'll get radio silence or a sarcastic answer. You can always check due dates via the modules or Canvas calendar. I already see some typos I got to fix, but that always happens. And going back to understanding concepts and looking at the stuff that's actually there. MLA or APA formatting. I expect most every assignment you're going to submit will be in MLA or APA format unless the assignment guidelines indicate otherwise. So for example, let's look at an assignment that is due this week, and let's see what it says. So if we click on something for due later in this module, it has an indication at the bottom to format it in MLA or APA, or not doing so will impact your grade. You'll see little notes at the bottom about formatting and about late submissions, some of the time, not all the time. I try to remember to put those, but concerning MLA or APA, those are two distinct formatting options. I want choice to enter into this somewhat, so you can choose one of these as long as you don't mix the two and you remain consistent for the entire semester. For example, if you choose MLA, I imagine you're probably an English major, maybe history major. So make sure the format that you choose matches your professional or academic lifestyle, because then you'll get acclimated to using it and you might already kind of know how to use it. If you choose APA, I imagine you're probably a business major or some sort of sciencey, techie major. They use APA a lot. But either way, once you start using it, don't then switch from week to week and then use a different one, or like, oh, I forgot what MLA and APA are. I'm going to combine them. Don't do that. So stick with one for the whole semester, and it's up to you whichever one you choose. But if you choose MLA, this is what I would expect to see at the top of your paper. And then there's other assignment guidelines I would expect to see. If you're going to choose APA for the entire semester, I expect to see a cover page, and then on page 2, the content of your assignment answers start. And there's also other formatting things I expect. With the syllabus, again, I've mentioned this in the last video, but there's a text version here with typos. And there is a visual version of it. It's not as detailed. You're gonna have to sign into your USF Microsoft account to view it, but it just overviews everything that's on the, well, most everything that's on the text version of the syllabus. So either way, you're gonna get what's on the syllabus. Concerning the upcoming project, everything in these first few weeks is building up to creating the rough and final draft of the group presentation, and then later the position paper. You can click here to read about details of the project. Oh, I need to fix that link. And how to contact your group. But for now, we can visit the other assignments due in the first part of week 1 for greater understanding of those. I'm gonna click out of this and click on the reading project review. It's very lengthy. Again, maybe having the immersive reader read it to you would be preferable. But in order to fully understand Project 1, you need to read this or scan through it for major concepts. Now, if we click out of this and we head over to the Group 1 Presentation Assignment Guidelines, this gives you details on the group assignment and what you're undertaking in these first few weeks. With your project group, you're creating a slideshow in response to the prompt, should Florida increase funding for the University of South Florida? There's going to be 5 groups per class with 4 or 5 people per group, and each group will be assigned to respond yes or no to the prompt, and you get to choose with your group which audience you want to respond to. Along with the requirements for each slide, the group must include 2 data visualizations created by the group, or you can find them on the internet. I prefer copyright-free images. I've suggested 2 websites where you can find those sorts of images. A visualization can be a picture, a graph, or something to exemplify your point. A visualization should not just be for show, and it should be correctly captioned and mentioned in the text of the slide, and we'll kind of get to that as the weeks go on. Each slide should have a script with narration text that can be shared and will be used to make sure that all captioning is correct. There are no late submissions for this presentation assignment. For project groups, you may be wondering, like, how the hell do I find my project group? You're gonna visit the people button. You're gonna click on project groups, and you're gonna find your name. You're gonna uncollapse all these things, and you're gonna find your name. So the groups have been randomly assigned by Canvas. I don't know y'all, and you don't know me, so I just, Canvas do it for me. If you find you're having problems with group members of a moral nature, meaning you're being harassed by somebody in the group in whatever way, then please, please, please let me know. Otherwise, concerning deadlines and interpersonal issues, or this person or that person is not attending meetings or doing their shit, work it out amongst yourselves. I do not care. There are built-in mechanisms in the assignments leading up to the rough draft and the final draft of the presentation, in which you will have to turn in individualized assignments anyway. And then we'll also talk about group accountability for the collaborative assignment. So don't really worry about if someone's zoned out or not, or inputting their stuff or whatever. Reach out to your group in whatever way you see fit. Canvas email is best at first. And then if you do, you click on the people button, you're there, you click on everyone. This is the login ID. I believe that's the first part of their USF email. And then if you just add at usf.edu, you should be able to send them an email to their direct inbox instead of Canvas inbox. And those two things are separate. I also suggest setting up a Google Doc for easy collaboration, and then deciding with your group how else you could facilitate, group meetings or conversations, WhatsApp or Snapchat. I don't know, man. I don't know, whatever you decide on with your group. I'll talk more about group dynamics in the next video though. So let's talk more about projects and stuff that's due this part of the week. So once you complete the group assignment, starting week 6, you will work on your own again. The end product of project 1 is going to be a position paper based on that same premise as before. Should Florida increase funding for the University of South Florida? Your position can be opposite that of your group presentation. The assignment should be at least 750 to 1250 in terms of word count. You should include at least an integrated and captioned visual. Just like you did with your group presentation, it can be created by you or found on the internet. Has to have 6 paragraphs as noted below. You should be using MLA or APA formatting. I don't accept late, rough, or final drafts. This assignment, unlike others, is going to have to be uploaded to that separate program, USF Rights. If USF Rights is experiencing issues, there's a way that you can resolve them by clicking here, and that tech link should also be on the front loading page, I'm pretty sure. And you go through all of this and see if it works, and you try USF Rights again. In the event the text helps, if they don't work, email me a draft of your paper before 11:59 p.m. Eastern on the due date, or I'm sorry, before that due date, to include a screenshot of your help desk ticket or the tech problem you're experiencing. So tech problems are never an excuse to not at least email me your assignment on time, but only email me your assignment if USF Rights is not working and you've tried all those tech help steps. If you email me your assignment after 11:59 p.m. on the due date, it's late and I won't accept it. So those are the nuances of Project 1, and then you can click on the assignment for week 1, the beginning of week 1, which is a quiz that has 10 questions, 2 points each. It's due on January 12th at 11:59 p.m. Eastern. There's no late submissions for this quiz. I'm sorry, not 8:59 p.m. It's due at January 12th at 8 p.m. I was reading something else. We have covered everything for week 1, day 1. And if you have questions, you WhatsApp me or email me, and I'll see you in the next video.